In the previous section, we discussed one of the core skills in successful parent advocacy, building relationships. Now we're going to discuss two additional critical advocacy skills, civility and solutions. When conflict arises, either in your child's school program or in your community, emotions can run hot. It is easy to focus your energy on the problem or on who is to blame. But successful grassroots advocacy rests in the ability to provide solutions and to do so in a positive, respectful manner. While it may feel good in the moment to vent frustrations to a school principal or at a public meeting, this approach rarely delivers results. More importantly, as parent advocates, we have an opportunity to model for our children the best way to solve problems. Civility in the public discourse is becoming more and more rare. You, as a parent leader who cares about the early childhood system, can easily distinguish your advocacy efforts by rising above the often nasty tone of public debate. Keep in mind that being civil doesn't mean avoiding disagreements. Having strong opinions can be very beneficial to systemic improvement. It is how we as parent advocates approach those differences of opinion that can lead to success or failure. So what does it actually mean to develop the advocacy skill of civility? Here are a few tips to consider when framing your approach to engaging decision makers. First, be kind. Leadership is difficult and lonely. When there is an issue you believe needs to change, be open to understanding both sides of the issue. Present your concerns in an honest but constructive way. Yelling, anger, or threats never work and can cause real harm. Threatening consequences to leaders who disagree with you weakens your cause, destroys relationships, and limits future ability to have an impact. Second, adopt a mindset of mutual respect. Don't assume that leaders or decision makers are set against you. Instead, work from a belief that everyone at the table wants to reduce conflict and solve problems so you can offer your ideas to make things better going forward. Remember, you can be respectful even if you don't like or agree with someone. That's something we expect our kids to do all the time, and engaging in advocacy gives us a chance to model what respectful disagreements look like. This approach is especially important when dealing with people in partisan leadership roles. You do not have to have the same ideology or worldview to find common ground on matters of early childhood care and education. Next, rise above. Sometimes key leaders disappoint us, but that is not a reason to unleash our anger and burn bridges. Often there is a next level that advocates can turn to for options. In other rare cases, civil disobedience, like petitions and protests, may be a strategy, but even the most passionate protest can still be civil. Maintaining basic courtesy and kindness, even when opinions are deeply held, is the key to success in effecting change. And finally, don't make it personal. Advocacy isn't about who you are and should never be about who they are as people. When you are speaking up for your child or many children in a community, it may feel like your heart is on the line. When a decision doesn't go your way, it can feel like the needs of your child are being tossed aside. These can be painful and emotional moments. Even so, maintaining civility in moments of disappointment or frustration will help you to find other solutions, engage other leaders, or pursue alternatives. You are more than any one issue that you advocate for, so try to keep perspective and focus on those next steps. The final advocacy skill we are going to discuss today is a solutions mindset. When an issue comes up that matters to you, it is easy to be so passionate about the importance of the issue that you aren't productive in actually solving it. Calm, focused presentation of your unique perspective and options for improvement is a powerful tool. Tell your personal story, but then come to the table with ideas. That's the key to engaging decision makers for success. Focusing on solutions doesn't mean that criticisms aren't warranted or shouldn't even be shared. Respectful identification of problems is not the same thing as dwelling on who is to blame. Instead, seek to understand the other side's perspective. Ask questions and listen. Brainstorm options for change and be open to ideas that aren't yours. Finding common ground may take a bit of effort, but seeing things from the perspective of the decision maker can often open up solutions that you didn't consider at the outset. Adopting an approach of civility and solutions is essential not just for in-person conversations, but written advocacy as well. When sending emails or letters to policymakers or offering public comment on an open matter, your choice of tone and words matters. Communication that makes angry accusations or simply demands that someone else fix a problem rarely carries the day. Remember, you don't have to be an expert on everything. Just be the expert on your story and your child. Whether you are speaking at a school board meeting, testifying at a legislative hearing, or sitting down with your center director to address concerns, your experiences and viewpoints are what matters. By taking the pressure off of yourself to know everything before you say anything, it is easier to have a calm, collaborative dialogue. We have now discussed 3 critical advocacy skills: relationships, civility, and solutions. Grassroots parent-led advocacy will employ many tools to get a message out: emails, letters, public comments or testimony, media interviews, and social media engagement, to name a few. But the success of any of these advocacy tools rests in your ability to demonstrate the skills we have discussed so far. In the next and final module, we will talk about what those skills look like in the real world.